Hello, hello, hello. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Khushamdi. Ji ayanu. Goeiemorgen.
Bukhair agale, ni hao, tune shumme, washmale, ohio gonzaimus, guten morgen, hola, bonjour, previous, kaifa hal, hala shama chatore, ahlan wasalan marhaba, and a very amazing good morning to everybody who's tuned into PT World and watching World this morning alongside the very amazing Shiza Hashmi and Shahzad Khan. Hello Shiza, how are you today?
I have to say I'm very happy because it's Friday, you
Wow.
guys. We're walking into the weekend and finally the week is over. Not for me though, but I actually like the vibe of Friday. What about you?
Yeah, I think that's what it is, which is why that I've actually even named Thursday a little bit more. I call it Friday baby as well,
Yeah,
because
true.
that's how it is. But
You're
other than
prepping for Friday.
yeah, other than that, ladies and gentlemen, whenever you get to see, whenever you wake up on Friday morning, you're like, oh my God, finally, I'm going to get 2 days off.
True.
And yesterday we were even talking about how busy we were because of Eid, so we didn't actually get the vibe of the weekend, the
True.
previous weekend
True.
too as well. Which is why that I've actually got my plans to fulfill my Z's as well. I'm going to sleep because a lot of work has gone down within this week
Yeah,
too as
for
well.
you especially, you've been working extra as well.
But how do you get the vibe? Because you'll be working on the weekends too as well.
I am, but I don't have to wake up early in the morning, like this.
Okay.
So I have enough time to probably work and chill as well. So I really do like the vibe of that, also because the monotony, sort of breaks.
Oh yeah.
So it's great. Friday is always great. And the show today that we are having is actually something very important and something very crucial that we should be discussing. Everyone should
And
be
I think
discussing.
something very interesting too as well, but that is something which will definitely let you know. But after top stories, ladies and gentlemen, top stories coming up. Good morning.
Let's take a look. Wilders has cancelled plans to hold a contest of blasphemous caricatures.
Thousands of revelers hurled around 145 tons of tomatoes at each other during the annual Tomatina festival in the Spanish town of Bunol. Wow, look at them wasting food. These tomatoes could have been used for a lot of ketchup.
That's true. Well, crowds gathered in Mexico City to watch chefs craft a record-breaking super torta sandwich.
Wow,
Wow.
it's so big. See, these are the kind of things due to which you actually are unable to diet. And yeah, that's what it is. Because every time whenever I look at a particular video where there's something to eat in it, I just feel like eating. And this is what happened yesterday too as well. So I came back home late night, I was working. So what happened was, so I was trying to sleep while I was watching a video, and then all of a sudden there was a video which popped up and there were rice in it and a lot of other things. And I was feeling hungry. So what I did was that I actually woke up, went to the fridge.
Got some food?
Yeah, that's it. And ate it and slept right away, which is very unhealthy.
No, but internet is so manipulative. Every time there's one food video that you watch, it's hardly for 1 minute something. They keep coming. They make sure to come, until you go grab something for yourself.
No, it's because...
Which is unhealthy sometimes.
Yeah, it's because of the fact that, that the type of videos which actually come, it's like a matrix, is dependent on the type of videos you have
watch.
been watching already.
Yeah.
But other than that, now let's come down to topic where I was talking about that, eating late at night and then sleeping is very unhealthy. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we have done today is that I think it's first of its kind too as well, where we've actually got representation of two political parties all together on the same platform. We are going to talk about health, we are going to talk about education, because these are the two main agendas of the current government too as well. And even the previous government was working on that, but we'll definitely ask what happened in the past 5 years within KPK, in the health sector, in the education sector, and then what happened in Punjab too as well, because we have got representations from Punjab as well, and then from KPK as well, and then on a larger scale, we're going to talk about these things unanimously too as well, because we need to raise our concerns, because a lot of times what happens is you get these messages from different boutiques, from different other shops as well, but you will never get a message from government telling you you need to go to the hospital or get this vaccination or probably a mobile dispensary, which I have seen on roads too as well, who did that, who and what kind of things do we actually have to look into collectively. I think this is what we're going
Yeah,
to
I
be
know. And
discussing
you know,
today.
when you say we don't get enough messages, public in general awareness is very important. I mean, the only message, public service message that I gotten was from NAB, say no to corruption. And yes, we did say no to corruption. But other than that, you're right, it gets very annoying. You know, you're always getting brands messages and everything. Oh, there's a sale, go out and shop. So this is what we're going to discuss. Why is it, or why is it not important to aware the general public of, you know, it's time for you to get your vaccine.
Yeah.
We're very active in case of polio. I do really appreciate that.
Yes.
But other than that, there's so many other things that we cannot ignore and are
No,
going to
even
talk
other than
about.
that, thank you very much for bringing this up. And, you know, it brings me shame too as well that, you know, on this planet, there are only 2 countries left with polio.
Yes.
We are one of them, which is very unfortunate. We are more than 70 years old now. Where are we heading? Are we heading in the right direction or are we not? These are the things to be discussed. Let's
But
do
it's
it.
progressive, and you know,
Yeah.
I'm very positive about it because, you know, in a very few years, we will be done with this menace of
Exactly,
polio,
that's what it
inshallah.
is. And then at the same time, since you mentioned about NAB that, you know, they're texting you, say no to corruption, so you should have actually replied them that we have never ever said yes to corruption.
True.
Anyway, so it's perfectly all right. On my right-hand side, ladies and gentlemen, we're very glad that, you know, these people took out time.
Yeah.
They are here to make you guys aware too as well and talk about what will be happening in the future within the health sector and the education sector.
Yes.
On my right-hand side, I've been joined by Professor Asma Kadir, who's an M&A from PTI, and she's an educationist herself. Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Thank you so much. Welcome. Oh, God bless you.
Walaikum salam. Thank you very much for joining us. Alongside Professor Asma Kadir, we have actually been joined by Mr. Nisar Ahmed Chima Sahab, who's an M&A from PMLN. Hello, assalamu alaikum, sir. How are you?
Walaikum salam. Fine, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for joining us. And last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by consultant rheumatologist. She is none other than Ms. Dr. Sadia Riaz, and she has been working in the KPK2 as well within the health sector. Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Absolutely perfect. Thank you very much for joining us. So first things first, let's get started. We'll get started with you. Because, you know, coming down to these 2 guests, it will be a bit difficult too as well to ask different type of questions. But okay, let's start from you. You've been serving within KPK2 as well for a year or 2 years. You were working over there. And this newer government, which took over there in KPK2 this time, they're in federal too as well. Punjab even as well. You know, they're all over the country now. What kind of changes were made to the health sector when you were there within the KPK's provincial government, PTI's provincial government?
I would like to introduce myself first.
Sure.
I've got my MBBS degree from Pakistan, and then I was trained abroad. So I have a specialist degree from UK.
Yeah, we read that.
And then I returned back to Pakistan to obviously serve my own homeland and my country. Having worked in different parts of Pakistan as well, I've got exposure. So my experience is from abroad, different parts of Pakistan as well.
Okay.
Like you mentioned in KBK, if we look at the hospitals, if we just enter a hospital, we can clearly see obvious difference.
What is that obvious difference? Because what happens is when on television we say that, you know, it's very obvious or you know it, people don't know about it. Talk about those differences.
Well, counting us in as well, we don't know what the obvious differences in KPK are. So you have to tell us.
Exactly. One of the important things in a hospital is an emergency department.
Yes.
Okay, so as soon as you're there, you will get all the emergency treatment that's required. Second important thing is the cleanliness. Obviously, it's a hospital setting. There are lots of germs and bacteria around. So if you look at a KPK hospital, you will definitely see the level of cleanliness that's unfortunately not available in other hospitals.
Okay.
The third thing, and very important thing, they've taken an initiative to recruit doctors from abroad who are Pakistani origin, who were trained abroad, and they've given them incentives, a good salary packages, incentive to return back to Pakistan and serve their home country.
Okay, so you think that's working out good for now?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because having worked abroad and I've spent a lot of years in other countries, I think it's great to be back in Pakistan and, you know, work with our own people, speak our own language, eat our own food, you know, things like that. So it's absolutely amazing to be back in Pakistan.
Oh, early in the morning talking about food. Look who's here. Yeah, I'm a foodie too as well.
Can I add to her? What
Yeah,
Sure.
please.
Yeah, there is also a great change that I experience as well. Our government, previous government,
Yeah.
they trained the staff, the nurses and the doctors that the first most important thing is to respect the patient.
Okay.
And then they opted this kind of attitude
Okay.
that when the patient comes, we're gonna treat the patient as our guest. So this is because and then the government also told them that the language and their, like, they should be treating the patients as like they are in the hands of angels.
Okay.
So the respect and the language was the foremost, were told to them that they have to take care of that. And behavior of the nurses, behavior of the doctors.
Right.
So that was the most important
Okay,
thing that we actually focused on.
Okay,
as
that's
well.
so. What we're hoping is that was only in KPK. So now what we're hoping is, since you are the federal
In whole
government,
Pakistan,
in all
inshallah.
Pakistan, is exactly this attitude is what we're hoping
Yeah.
for. But you know, right before the general elections 2018, some political leaders of other parties, what they were doing, we were discussing it right before the show as well. What they were doing, they were running the government, and then they were going to some district hospitals, you know, public hospitals, and they were that point in time, sorry, they were installing CT scan machines in there. They were providing them with basic facilities like beds and whatnot. Weren't they supposed to be there already? I mean, why are we compromising the health of the public, you know, just to get votes?
This is sad, right? And this is what I say that people, because of the lack of education of our politicians mostly, and is compromising on their health and getting fame on their health,
Right.
using their disease or is using their sickness to gain a fame for what they're doing. No, I think that's very unfortunate. This should be, the facility should be all the time over there, right?
Right.
Right? And especially like they don't have elites. What happened? What elites have done, these politicians have done, that they actually took care of themselves,
Okay.
and mostly they go outside,
Yeah,
you know,
for the
get
checkups and
for the
everything. Yeah.
checkups, and they dumped the whole the poor and less privileged people of Pakistan.
Right.
So it's unfortunate. I'm so sorry.
Indeed, indeed.
But I think now, as the new Masiha, which we say, Imran Khan has come and he's very much focused,
Yeah.
and he doesn't want, and we are also very much determined that this kind of behavior that should not never ever happen in Pakistan.
Thank you very much
Right.
for saying that. I think it's a good omen too as well, because for the very first time I've heard such wise words too as well. But very quickly I'll move on to Chima Sahab over here. Now Chima Sahab, I don't know whether I'm right or wrong, but I think it's from 1977 I think PMLN has been ruling in the Punjab as well. And talking about that, so 30 years down the line, have you witnessed changes, because you have been a part of the bureaucracy too, and now you're an eminent too as well?
Shahzad Sahab, before starting, as Madam said, and we have also we have great hopes and expectations from Imran Khan, whom she said he's like a Masiha.
Yeah.
Right.
So, with reference to Masiha, I would like to say that Ibn Maryam hua kare koi, mere dukh ki dawa kare koi.
Bilkul.
I would like to mention here that in Punjab, during the previous years, under the wonderful leadership of our former Chief Minister, Mia Shahbaz Sharif, we have witnessed unprecedented reforms, unprecedented initiatives which have been taken, unprecedented improvement which has been made throughout the province, in every sector, in every department. But I'll certainly confine myself to the health sector,
Sure.
in which so many hospitals have been established. Look at the Rawalpindi Institute of Cardiology, look at the Children's Hospital Faisalabad, look at the Kidney Hospital Multan, so many other hospitals. And not only limited to Punjab, even you can see the Nawaz Sharif Kidney Hospital Swat has been established, as you know. And then under the guidance and leadership of Shahbaz Sharif, the gaps were identified in different areas of health sector. Whether the gaps pertain to human resource, the capacity building, financial resource, material resource, infrastructure, whatever. And then every effort was made to fill the gaps in the shortest possible time.
Okay.
And then the unprecedented increase in budgetary allocations were made. Billions and billions of rupees have been spent in revamping of THQ and DHQ hospitals throughout the province. And billions of rupees have been spent for purchase of the quality medicines which are being provided to the remotest area even to the remotest health facilities in Punjab. You can go to any vesicle unit, you can go to any rural center of the province, any THQ, DHQ. You will see the best quality medicines are being dispersed, being provided to the poorest of the poor, to the poor patients of the province. And I wish the same quality medicines were being dispensed and provided to the poor patients of the other provinces. And then see the state-of-the-art institutions have been established. Kidney and liver institution has been established. So many other, the state-of-the-art forensic science laboratory has been established. As you know, the drug testing laboratory has been revamped, has been upgraded, improved. So I can say without any fear of contradiction that no other province can claim to perform even the 10% of the performance which has been made by Shahbaz Sharif in Punjab.
Okay, there's one thing which I would love to say over here because one of my friends actually came from Russia and he did MBBS too as well. And in the previous government, what he did was that he opted to go work for the government sector too as well. So he's in Mandi Bahauddin and he says
But
that
I
you know,
disagree.
yeah, we will definitely come back to that. But
said
but
yes.
today you're going to talk about education, all right? So we're going to talk about health from them.
disagree.
Yeah, but this is something which I witnessed, and that was
Because-
that that
because
doctors were
I-
actually willing to work.
Sehat card, and there's so many initiatives that we took, and the poor, especially Sehat card was for the poor. And beside that, the women, those were because there was a high mortality rate over there, but that has lessened so much, and there was malnutrition for the, especially for the
A larger population over in
larger
Pakistan is
living on
malnourished.
stunt, all right. So that has been lessened. And other than this, the sanitation of the hospitals, go and compare the sanitation of KPK hospitals and sanitation of Punjab. You will be, it will be so embarrassing once you're going to go to Punjab hospital. If he says that they have done so much spending, my question is why then Nawaz Sharif went out? Why
you know-
Kulsum Nawaz went out?
Okay, I
So
think
there
we're
is that-
moving.
you're
We're
talking
drifting away
about
from the
poor
topic over
people.
here.
Just
We will
one
definitely-
sentence, just one sentence.
Sir, 1 minute. You know, because we
yeah.
do not want to drift away from the topic. There's just one thing which I would love to ask, and that is that, it's not about health. Let's come down to education. Now, obviously, I definitely want you to tell us about what happened within KPK for the past 5 years as well in terms of education. But other than that, the figures are that 22 million children are actually out of school.
Yes.
And this is one of the agendas that to make the education sector better so that, people can go and actually study in public schools too as well. What have been done, and what are on what kind of footings are actually you going to invest in education too as well?
Look, education works as we all know, and I think you people know that there was a lot of work done in education.
Right.
And KPK is such a province where there was the literacy rate was very low, just like Balochistan.
Yeah.
Okay.
But now, as compared to Punjab and as compared to the other Sindh, the literacy rate has risen. It's 76% now as compared to other. Similarly, primary schools were, established, and the go schools were, monitored, and they were raised. Now their real schools are working, and especially the primary schools, secondary schools, and the students, the learners, especially the rural areas, the students were provided, the children over there living provide schools very close to their home. So that there was a time when they used to go long, they used to walk, little children used to walk long. But what the government KPK did, they made schools very close near to the, especially primary and secondary, and they also raised the secondary to the higher. They rehabilitated all the schools.
Okay.
Especially go schools were there, they built the schools, but maximum schools were those broken schools, they mandate schools, right?
Right.
And what the syllabus was raised, the quality was
Teachers
raised.
were on time,
Teachers were, teachers,
biometric, all
yes,
of these things I've witnessed.
Yeah, and the presence of the teacher was made 100%. If the teachers was not there, their salaries was raised.
Okay.
And also the quality of teaching, the training was done so they can at least make conducive environment
Right.
and, a wonderful environment for the learners to stay there in the school, love learning, and
Right.
do not like going back
Right.
to school.
That is
This has-
amazing.
So-
but very quickly, before we move on towards our break, ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask Dr. Sadi over here, since you have actually been working in KPK too as well. Did you ever get a chance to go to a public school over there while you were working?
Not really.
Okay, not really. So,
Okay, now, Ms.
but
Asma,
have you seen any changes within the education sector within KPK for the past 5 years? Did you get a feeling of that too as well? Or probably I think she was very busy with the hospital too as well, so she never got time.
Yeah, so now we're going on a short break, and I'm glad that Ms. Asma highlighted some very great points. We have to come back to that. But after a very short break, stay tuned to PTV World. Good morning.
Good morning. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for everybody who just got tuned into PT while you watching World this morning alongside Shiza Hashmi and Shazad Khan. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I think we are setting up a new dawn too as well, because over here within the studios we've got representation of PTI and PMLN too as well, and then we've actually invited Dr. Sadia too as well to let us know or probably identify the areas where we actually need to work on within the health sector. And then Ms. Asma is actually talking about the education sector too as well. We have discussed what happened within the past 5 years within the provincial governments of Punjab and KPK, and now we're going to talk about how to move on and how to make Pakistan a better place. That's what it is.
So just before we went on a short break, Ms. Asma, actually identified two great things. She mentioned ghost schools, which is great. You have personally witnessed that in KPK, the number of ghost schools has reduced. But now the things that you are inheriting, the whole country, in fact, let's say, there are more than 700 ghost schools that have been identified in Punjab alone. First of all, let's talk about the strategies. How are you guys planning to go about that? And also, when you say that a very huge number of children is out of school, how are you planning on bringing the street kids to school?
Right. First of all, your first question is that there are ghost schools.
Yeah.
Yes, the way we actually we totally finished the ghost schools in KPK, and through extending the present schools, what do you call it, the enrollment in the present school.
Okay.
And with that, we also opted more buildings. The old buildings we rehabilitated, and we brought children from the street to the schools,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So if you're going to see and going to make a survey, you will find even the street schools are still studying.
Okay.
Why? Because the environment was made conducive for them. And it is made vital for parents. And the school authorities and the government especially make arrangements like going to the parents and sending info to the parents that going to the school is very important. And other thing very much which was observed in KPK, the parents themselves were so keen.
To send
Actually,
the
they were
children to
looking for the school is there. They used to send nobody. They didn't bother that from where they're gonna bring their student, the child in the school. They were also actually the people of Pakistan here. They only want school closer to them, and there's no problem. Everybody wants. And with that, one thing we have decided that to bring the street school and enhance the enrollment by absolutely executing those gold schools. We're gonna do that, and we're gonna look at the same way that we did the model. We're gonna follow the model of KPK. That we're gonna be very strict on teachers. We're gonna probably we might do that. The teachers, those were taking pay and never probably we dismiss them. So we're gonna take very strict action on that. But we are also focusing on that. Our focus is that the previously from the day of independence of Pakistan, what you can say, the literacy, education has two purposes. One is how to read and write and make a living. And the other purpose is how to live. You know why you exist, teaching mind as well. hearts as well.
Okay.
Previously, minds were taught. So in our policy, we have decided we're going to use both purposes of education: teaching literacy, or teaching the minds
Minds
and
and
teaching
hearts
the
as well.
hearts.
Okay.
And with
that is amazing, but I want
with
to add
that-
on to that too
Yeah.
as well, that I'm going to appreciate Premier Imran Khan's statement when he actually took over as the Prime Minister, and when it was his first actually live session too as well. He said that, why don't we produce doctors, engineers from madrasas too as well? And I think this was the bit of the speech which I loved the most too as well, that we are actually going to focus on each and every segment of the society.
Yes, everyone. And madrasas, Dini madrasas, are we going to integrate with our education system? They're gonna follow the same syllabus which the whole country will follow, inshallah.
Okay.
And we want Dini madrasas to produce scientists, doctors, and all that. So we're gonna. That's why we talk about same curriculum. That's we talk about the same way of teaching, and we have the syllabuses and the policy that we got. It is very good, and it's gonna, the Pakistan generation will gonna benefit from it.
Inshallah.
Okay,
Of course.
and we want to, and with that we are also focusing to build the image of Pakistan. Okay, so with that we are also the main. Our stress and focus at the moment which is the number one priority is education, because we feel education is the right solution for all evil in Pakistan. Otherwise, there isn't.
Very amazing. But let me just move on to Dr. Sahiba over here. So now, Dr. Sahiba, before I move on to Chima Saab, I actually want to ask you, what areas do you identify within Pakistan's health sector that they actually need to be improved in the coming years?
I think most importantly, it's about patient awareness and patient education. Like having worked abroad, I can see that patients here, they don't know what exactly is happening to them. They don't have no idea about their disease, what medicines they're taking, how long they're going to take. So patient awareness, patient education is on the top of my list, I would say.
So how do you think that we are going to make our people or the general public aware of all these diseases which are out there, the vaccinations which are available? Are we planning on that?
Before coming to awareness, it's a very important topic.
Sure.
I'll just like to make a comment.
Sure.
Madam has very rightly pointed out the importance of infant mortality and maternal mortality, which is
a problem.
Which is unfortunately very high in our country.
Yes. Yeah.
And she'll be glad to know that in Punjab, to address this problem, free ambulance service has been introduced throughout the province in the rural areas.
Okay.
To transport pregnant women to the nearby health facilities, and if required, if referral is made, to the THQ and DHQ hospitals. And then this ambulance service is also available for the children suffering from pneumonia, from diarrhea and malnutrition. This is very important, a very important initiative which has been taken in Punjab. Now coming to awareness, well, awareness is very important, and it has stages, different stages. For example, the first stage is the information. You inform the people regarding, for example, take the example of hepatitis, dengue. You inform the people, okay, this is the disease, these are the signs and symptoms, and these are the causative agents. And then the next stage is education. You educate the people.
Exactly.
And you tell them these are the preventive measures which have to be taken to ensure prevention of this disease. The next stage is motivation. You prepare the people so that they could play their individual as well as collective role for prevention of the disease and for the treatment.
Exactly.
After information, education, motivation, the last stage is mobilization, to mobilize the people.
Right.
Once they are motivated, you take them along with you. Then a movement is, it takes the form of movement. And that is the way we control dengue in Punjab.
Yeah.
Under the leadership of Shahbaz Sharif, in 2011, there were about 21,000 confirmed cases and 350 deaths. But now, alhamdulillah, there's no death at all. The intersectoral approach was adopted. All the stakeholders were involved. There was, the motivation of the whole, the general public. Every sector played their role.
Exactly, they did. But
And
there's
they
one,
fought, and we won the war against dengue.
but there's and it was commendable too as well. I must say, because I was
It's a
in
great
Lahore.
success story,
I was
which has been
in Lahore
appreciated
back
and
then
acknowledged
too as
throughout
well.
the world.
It was a success story too as well. But there's one thing which I would love to ask, and it's off the topic too as well. So I've been working with PTV for the last 5 years, and I've worked for every PTV sub-facet too as well. This is for the very first time that I'm actually hosting a show where I've got representation from both the two political parties.
Opposition as well
Yeah.
as the leader.
How do you feel about it?
Well, it's amazing. It's really commendable. And I must say that the institutions, national institutions, must keep their image neutral. They are national institutions. They must not align themselves with any political party or any political leader. They must keep themselves neutral and independent.
So all of a sudden the statements are now being supposed to, but nobody ever said that, you cannot call them. But, there was this feeling in the previous government that, something might go wrong, unfortunately. But now I think we've entered Naya Pakistan too as well, which is why I'm going to move on to Ms. Asma where. Ms. Asma, there's one more problem with education, that is that 14% of total schools within Pakistan, the public schools, have got only one teacher. 7% of the schools are only one room. There's no clean drinking water. There are no toilets. And these kind of issues actually make the dropout rate of the women or girls much higher too as well. Are we going to address these issues?
Yes, before coming to this question, I would like to say what he was saying, right?
Sure,
So,
please go ahead.
wait, please.
Yeah,
Yeah. He was saying about providing ambulance. Please, I request him to collect the facts and correct his facts as well. And that is when he's talking about ambulances that we started, KPK government on the 2013, soon after election.
Yeah.
There was, please get the reports out, okay? I would like you to present the reports.
We'll
in
do that
front-
because we'll be
Yeah.
calling you again and again now.
Okay. So, and it was the KPK started and it went like viral. The health minister did. There was thousands of ambulances were bought for the same purpose, to reach the mother, bring the child, reach to the patient, so they can what you can say, the treatment is free and everything. Okay. So it was actually we started, not we, my KPK government started, and after that, it was after 2-3 years when they were pressurized, when Mr. Shahbaz Sharif was pressurized, so then they also followed our model. So
Well, it can go either way too, ma'am. It can go either way.
Learning
No,
from
wait,
each other.
no, wait, one minute.
metros were
Wait.
established over here, and then,
that's
the idea was
okay,
taken over
I
there.
don't, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about, look, once they will do good work, we will. This is what our leader says. If any opposition does the good work because they are Pakistan, we must appreciate them.
Exactly.
And we will do, they will.
And it's a good omen.
They will
It's a good
find,
omen,
yes.
yeah.
And if we did first and did good, they must have
Now
the
should we
heart
talk
to
about
appreciate.
education now?
Okay.
Let's get down to
you-
that. So clean
okay.
drinking water,
Yeah,
no
we are-
washrooms.
Yeah, yes.
One teacher in 14% of the
it is-
schools, and 7% is only one room.
Yeah, it is like 257 students. One teacher is for 257. So we very much about this. What we did in KPK, we're gonna apply this. We're gonna follow the same model. Then 30 for the ratio of the teachers, the student ratio. We're gonna make it for 30 to 1. All right, in government schools, and same is you gonna witness in KPK. Plus, we are focusing to train our teachers. Right, the most important is training our teachers. We can bring books, good syllabus, what if we don't have buildings, doesn't matter at all. It's the teacher matters, and if the teacher is, you don't give the book, good teacher doesn't need a book. She will automatically, she knows a topic, or she has a syllabus by the government, and she will automatically make the class a world of learning, right? And with that, we also focusing to train teachers, and also make their pay them highest,
Yeah.
so that they can concentrate on in that, and provide them provision, and provide them kind of that facility, so they should not be in all the time in what you can pressure going home or far away from home, especially female and all that. Okay, and we are the way we are integrating madrasas and all that. So it is like we very much want that our children at least we want each and every student, not boys, and we're also focusing on girls, because girls make a lot of difference in the home.
Yeah, of
If we
course.
got a better children, we're going to have better leaders in the world,
Yeah, of
okay,
course, of
in future. We are also, but we are also focusing the same, both genders and other genders as well, that they should be equally getting
great.
good
Right.
education. Not a single girl, not a single boy should be left home. And we're going to make sure, we'll ensure that according to Article 25 of our
25A,
Constitution, they
yes.
should be free,
Yeah, it's a fundamental
a
right.
fundamental right, free access to education. The other is promoting, ensuring that need-based analysis, a kind of education we're gonna give. All right,
Okay.
need-based analysis. What are their political interests? Especially in every area has their different
That's a great thing.
different culture. Okay,
Right.
what are their political interests? What are their economical interests? So with that, we have also decided that we're gonna universities are higher. We're gonna integrate with the industries. We're gonna integrate with the where industries and companies and organizations. So from very easily they can opted for the job.
And one more thing, ma'am, very quickly, which is I think that Pakistanis do lag behind in terms of technology too as well, and we need to incorporate that with our education sector. So do you think that in coming years we'll actually be seeing some research facilities state of the art?
Yeah.
And so where people could actually go implement their own ideas too as well, that okay, for example, if you want to make rockets or whatever, or space shuttles, so we produce them over here, probably cell phones, are we looking into that market
Yeah,
too?
absolutely. And we are very much focused as this time we're gonna focusing on mostly science, technology, health and education.
And that'll be great.
Yeah, and mostly the science. And our student, look what happens. 65% of our, for example, doctors, they're serving outside. Why
Right,
not here? So we've got everything. We've got good brains. We've got good kind of learners that can create miracles here. Only the space to be given to them.
Right.
There needs to be recognized.
Yeah. Let's ask Dr. Sadia, why did you come back?
Basically, it's basically for Pakistan.
Own food, own family, all of these
family,
things.
Pakistan.
But you do have faith in the new system as well,
Exactly.
that things will get better.
Well, I do
Exactly.
have a question for you. When we talk about hygiene and basic healthcare, about 80% of the diseases that Pakistanis are having right now are because of bad hygiene, like diarrhea, cholera, and whatnot. And especially in rural areas where there's less accessibility of healthcare centers. So, do you think, first of all, we need to have mobile units for facilities for those areas? And have you identified such areas somewhere?
And Shizat, sorry, before you answer, Shizat, just imagine if there are certain areas of Pakistan where you just don't get clean drinking water.
Yeah.
So
There's
imagine
so
washing
many
your
such
hands with
areas.
the same water will actually get you sick too as well. So it's not just about drinking. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Shiza. I think it's all about, again, about patient awareness. Like, for example, simple hand washing techniques. If we can tell them to general public,
I
that
can
these
do
are
that.
the simple hand wash techniques.
Right.
So if people know, we can educate them. We can do that at school level, colleges level. We can use this is the internet era. We can use the internet, social media, different sort of medias to deliver this message to general public, especially the people who are living in rural areas. I know lots of people don't have access to internet maybe, but they can we can use print media, newspapers, things like that. We can train our lady health workers or junior level doctors who are working in those areas, and they can do some teaching sessions with the schools or community, and they can guide them about some basic hygiene, cleanliness that can prevent lots of diseases.
Okay.
Amazing
Okay, makes
that is.
perfect sense. But I have a
Yeah,
very
yeah,
quick
go ahead,
question
go
for
ahead.
Mr. Chima. Mr. Chima, government does the lawmaking, I get that. But the role of the bureaucrats is to implement that. So where are we
took my
lagging
question
behind?
away.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's
So
all
where are we lagging behind in terms of implementation?
Well, it's very important points you have highlighted, because the government is policymaker, the implementers are bureaucrats, the civil servants.
Right.
Regarding civil servants, I would like to highlight some points.
Sure.
The first one is that we must inculcate in the hearts and minds of the people, particularly the civil servants,
Yeah.
the importance of rizq-e-halal. Prophet, peace be upon him, said, these are the words of Prophet, peace be upon him, that if one's earning is not halal, none of his or her good deeds and worships will be accepted. These are the words of the Prophet, peace be upon him. And these words have to be kept in mind all the time.
Right.
The second point is that the civil servants have to be taught, educated and trained that they have to serve the people and not the rulers.
Exactly.
Right.
They are the servants of the people. They are not the servants of the rulers. They have to behave in the way as they were instructed and guided by the father of the nation, Qaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, in his address when he addressed the civil servants in Peshawar and then in Chittagong. And the civil servants must not align themselves with any political party or political leader.
Right.
They must keep their image neutral and independent.
Okay.
And they must do their duty honestly. They should always uphold the principles of merit and justice. And they should have the courage to say no to the rulers if they want them to do anything against the principles of justice and merit.
Beautifully said, sir. But we're very short of time. Very quickly, yeah.
And the one last point.
Yeah.
And the other important point is that we must implement the principle of right man for the right job. This is perhaps the most important key to success.
Indeed it is.
And this important principle has always been ignored in our setup.
And I think
Unfortunately,
Pakistan has done it now.
let's hope. Let's hope. We can
Let's hope for
only
the
pray.
best. Thank
We
you.
can only pray.
Yeah, but thank you very much, sir, for being with us. You know, it was lovely to have you. We're very short of time. We have to wrap up the show too as well. And I think this is one thing, ma'am, which you can even probably go and project to the leadership too as well, that, you know, these, because we're going to witness in the coming days that, you know, that different institutes are going to see different people, you know, coming in, going out. So all we have to do is make sure or ensure that, you know, it's all done on merit. That's what it is.
Merit,
Thank you very
of
much for
course.
being with us. It was
Thanks so
lovely.
much.
Yeah, of course.
This is
Love
Naya
having
Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen, in the making, for the very first time having two strongest political parties within Pakistan existing, sitting together on
And
PT
I think it's
work.
safe to say it was a peaceful and a fruitful show.
Yes.
We're all taking away something from
Well,
here.
it's because of us.
We were the moderators here.
Yeah.
No,
because
but
of us as well.
Thank you
of
very
course,
much.
it's
Thank
all
you very
because
much.
of you guys. You guys are wonderful guests. But if you have anything to say to us, any feedback or comments or any questions, write to us on our Facebook page.
Which
We'll
is
do-
with the name of Well This Morning.
and on Twitter,
Well This Morning without a G.
YouTube Daily Motion.
Well This Morning, Well This Morning.
And the repeat is going to be at
11 p.m.
Yeah, okay. And take care of yourselves and be kind to each other. And 1, 2, 3, good
Good morning. Thank you.